What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about drawing power, and we're going to talk about big multi-jointed swim baits, how we're going to use them, where we're going to use them, and why drawing power is really important when you are fishing for big fish and toothy critters. So let's dive in. Doing is we've been working kind of these last green weed. There we go, got him free. He wanted it. Really slow down on those potholes. All right, guys, so when we're talking about drawing power, we're talking about big baits, right? Handing was cool enough to send us some of their jointed 6-inch swim baits. These bad boys are an ounce. They are super clean in construction. They have a bunch of joints. They have good quality Mustad Ultra Point hooks. And believe it or not, these fish, these baits, can help you not only find more fish, but catch bigger fish, but also understand the lake you are fishing better. So let's talk about why drawing power is important. First things first, big baits often intimidate anglers, but fish aren't intimidated really by big baits. If anything, big baits are going to make fish inquisitive. And what I mean by inquisitive, if they see this thing swimming through the water, that's a big bait to them, right? Big bait. But to them, it's got that seductive side wobble, and what it's gonna do is call to them and call them in, right? So this is a great color here. This is that pro blue color. You see a bass eating a smaller bait fish here. But what you see here is a 6-inch bait. Just in comparison, here is a dark sleeper, which is a bigger sleeper bait. There's that 6-inch bait compared to it next door. So we're talking a bigger chunk of a bait here. What this does is it's going to call fish from a longer way. And when is a great time to throw these swim baits? One, if I'm practicing for a tournament, I am going to throw a big bait on a lake that I've never been to because one, it's going to show me where those fish are. This will act just like a catalyst. Fish are going to follow this out. So if you throw this up around docks, anything under that dock is going to follow it out, which lets you know, one, where the fish are, and two, you can go back through with a different bait and catch them, or if you take the hooks off of this thing, you can put the hooks back on it and go back through there and fish it through there, and you're gonna catch some of those fish because a lot of times fish are going to lash out at a big, ultra realistic bait, and that's what these baits are doing. One of my favorite colors is this transparent color with that orange belly, right? This thing looks clean, and where I'm gonna like this is walleye. And in the fall and in the spring, this bait has that nice sinuous motion, but it has a nice little knock underwater. You can kind of hear it there. Where this is going to excel is water that's a little bit dirty. And when fish are keyed in on that red-orange color in the fall and in the spring, and especially walleye, guys, I'm telling you, love the color orange on baits. That nice day glow orange where it fades up into transparent on this bait, really going to excel in that spring and fall time period. Also really going to excel in those off-colored water colors where a swim bait wouldn't necessarily be your first option. But possibly my all-around favorite out of these three baits in this package, and it's the bait that, you know, a lot of guys are gonna say, really, that one's your favorite? This matte colored perch is going to be a killer. And let me tell you why. Perch in northern fisheries are a bait fish, if you will. There's an entire pattern that I fish on the Great Lakes centered around perch. There's an entire pattern that I fish on Tippy and Maxinkuckee, especially centered around perch in the early winter, late fall, because that's when the perch come in and they stack up in places and they are targets. If you can fish a bait like this slow in the water column that looks like a perch and it's got that matte winter color perch feel to it, it's gonna get smoked. I'm talking big 40-inch pike, big muskie, big bass are eating those perch because they're nutrient dense this time of the year. So a big perch colored swim bait is going to get absolutely mauled, and the fact that this has a little bit of sound and vibration onto it and it's got that drawing power, this thing is going to get absolutely chewed. So when I'm fishing big baits, I'm fishing baits that essentially have drawing power. And what I mean by drawing power is if I'm fishing through a weed bed and I rip that big bait out of a weed bed, it looks like a smaller fish that's gotten scared and is gonna get smacked. Matter of fact, fishing these baits, I caught a nice bass doing exactly that. So drawing power is a powerful, powerful tool that you can use to your advantage. I'm gonna use it when I'm around big fish, when I'm looking for toothy critters, or when I'm practicing for a tournament and I wanna see what's there. Those fish will follow it out. Now, the next thing that you want to consider on these big lures is these are not just crank and wind type lures. These are lures where the angler needs to impart that stop and go, that jerk, pause. All of those different cadences are going to allow you to contact fish in a better way. And what it really allows you to do is generate a reaction bite through reaction type tendencies. And what I mean by that is if you throw this up under a dock and you jerk it out of there and pause it and make it erratic, it looks like a bait fish trying to escape. Fish are more likely to nail this bait when it's doing that than versus just that lazy S pattern. Some fish will absolutely obliterate that. If I'm fishing in 50 feet of water over suspended bass, I'm gonna throw this lazy S pattern right over the top of them. I'm gonna slow wind it back to the boat and something's gonna come unglued and knock its socks off, right? But the more action that I can impart, the more stop and go, the more turning this on a dime and turning it in different ways that I can impart on this lure, the better success that I'm going to have. Plus, these things are durable. They're gonna take abuse. They've got good components on them. Big baits need that to be successful. Guys, I hope you learned something today about drawing power and big baits. Hope you're interested in the content that we're putting out on the channel right now. Give us a like, subscribe, help us out. Hit those links in our bio. Go buy these products. Help support the channel. Help support you as an angler because we're doing everything that we can to bring you the best content to help you catch more bass. We'll see you out there, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today.